Thank you. And thanks for all of my friends and family, particularly from Texas, that are here today. 13 years ago, it was my first year of business school at University of Pennsylvania, Wharton, and I was a recent single mom with a 1-year-old daughter. There was a family picnic, and I wandered up with my daughter, Talia, who's here in the audience, and I struck up a conversation with one of the student dads, and he said to me, "So what class is your husband in?" And I looked at him, confused, and I said, "I don't have a husband." And he said, "Well, then what are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, I am the student." So what did I do? I got home, picked up the phone, and called my mom to complain, and she responded with 5 curt words. "Amanda, just deal with it." So that's my pearl of wisdom. Just deal with it. It seems a little harsh, but it's not intended to be. Life is unpredictable. We don't know the challenges we're going to face, and my mother's advice was wise. It wasn't shut up and deal with it, although maybe a little bit it was, but deal with it head on with conviction and integrity. My mother was a little more than 5 feet tall. She was small and tough, and she said it like it was. She was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in 1997, and 6 years later, on a cold February morning, we sat in the doctor's office as blood was being drawn. She was tested for BRCA, which was a genetic defect. She turned to me and said, we were sitting there, "Amanda, I'll probably test positive." Her sister, my Aunt Gay, mother, and aunt had all died of cancer, and if you and your sister test positive, you need to deal with it. She died the next morning. A month later, I found out I too had the BRCA1 defect. I was 5 times more likely to have breast cancer, 20 times more likely to have ovarian cancer than the rest of the general population. I was a 34-year-old time bomb. It gave me a great sense of clarity about what I wanted in my life. I felt I couldn't waste any time, so I did 2 radical things. While my mother was very ill, I dated a wonderful guy who was crazy about me and my daughter, but between my mother's chemo sessions and her deteriorating health, I really couldn't commit. Once she died, I realized I lost this great guy. He had just moved to India, it's a little problematic logistically, so I jumped on a plane with my friends coaxing and miraculously convinced him to move back to Texas. He's here today, and I would not be here without him and his love and support. The second thing I did, I quit my job, which I didn't love. I convinced at the time the CEO of Match.com that I could run a startup within Match. I'd never run a business before in my life. I was very good at convincing people to do things. 3 years later, I was asked to run all of Match.com, but the clock was ticking and I was faced with this choice. Should I have a mastectomy and hysterectomy, not knowing that I was completely healthy, or should I just sort of monitor and pray that I didn't get cancer? I watched my mother and my Aunt Gay die, and I didn't want my 2 daughters to go through that, so I decided to deal with it, and I had all the surgeries. My mother's advice became a guide. Things always don't work out the way we plan. A marriage doesn't work, parents become sick, a promotion doesn't happen. I never imagined I'd be running Match.com 9 years ago, sitting in that doctor's office. Every day I come to work and I know what I'm doing is changing people's lives. The world really has changed. This is how people meet online. I get emails every day from people thanking at me and thanking Match that they never would have met if they wouldn't have gotten married, have kids if they wouldn't have been on Match. People ask me how I ended up being the biggest matchmaker in the world. It's been a lot of hard work, but most importantly, it's because the advice from my mother, which I wanted to pass on to my 2 daughters, Maya and Talia, and the girls impacted by JWIs incredible programs. Life is not always easy. Deal with things head on with integrity and conviction, and believe in yourself, and always be true to yourself. Thank you.